I used to believe that resting meant that I was being lazy, and that if I wasn't constantly working and striving and going the extra mile, that I was going to fall behind everyone else that was doing those things. But what if this hustle culture, that is really just an idea that you and I have both been taught to glorify, is actually what is holding us back? When I say hustle culture, what comes to mind for you? I'd love to hear that in the comments below. Because for me, it's this nonstop grind and just putting in more hours and more physical labor and more time and working harder and harder and longer to eventually reach some level of success. That's what I think of. And I did that for a while. And I would wake up feeling exhausted every day despite having slept. And so on my way to work, I would grab a coffee that's about this big with 3 shots of espresso in it, or a Red Bull that was about this big. And I just was not listening to my body and what it was telling me about how I needed to take my foot off the gas pedal. I just continued plowing forward under the illusion of this hustle and grind mentality that we have all been programmed to believe. I was really burning the candle from both ends, and that relying on these external stimulants to provide me the energy that I should be creating on my own was not a long-term strategy for me. This idea of seasons has really helped me reframe these low energy periods and not feel as guilty about when they come. And so obviously there's the 4 seasons out there: spring, winter, summer, and fall. But there's also seasons that exist within our lives as well. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but I've really been trying to look at these low energy periods when I don't have the energy and I don't have the creativity or the drive as little winter periods that I just need to realize that this is a time for rest, and soon enough it'll be time to produce and create again. But for right now, I need to just take my foot off the gas and just take a chill pill and hang out, which has been very hard for me because I am not someone that is used to jumping off the hamster wheel. And really, it's been a very big challenge for me to feel like I don't always have to be taking action on things. I think just embracing rest is a huge part of growth that is often not even discussed or talked about. And I'm really putting that to the test in my own life right now. As an example, I haven't been uploading as consistently as I would like to on this YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is a passion project of mine. Not having the energy and not feeling creative over the last couple weeks has been very difficult for me. And I have that voice in my head of the societal expectations saying, you're not doing enough, and you're not staying up late enough, and you're not spending enough time on this if you're so passionate about this. And I've really just been trying to shut that voice up. And what I've been trying to listen to instead is what my body has to say, because my body is telling me a much different story. The voice is telling me I need to get my camera out and start shooting a video because it's been a few days and I haven't uploaded anything. My body, what that's telling me is that I am not in a creative state and I don't have the right energy, vibration, or frequency that is going to help me connect with people that need to hear what I'm saying and might draw some value from it. So as you can see, it's 2 very completely different stories. And I've paid attention to the voice long enough in my life that I'm now actively trying to make listening to my body the only thing I listen to and get better at accessing my intuition and things like that and taking inspired action based on those things. That's what I'm trying to do right now. And like I said, it is an extremely big challenge, especially in the society where we are just encouraged to continue plowing forward no matter the circumstances. Something I couldn't believe is I was actually over my parents' house the other day, and they had the TV on in the background, and a commercial for Dayquil came up, where it's a cold medicine you take so you can power through your day when you're sick. I'm not sure if anyone else sees a problem with powering through your day when you're sick, but when I'm sick, what I'm going to be spending my time doing is laying on this couch and giving my body the rest and the time and the nutrition it needs so that it can get back to its full strength. So I'm not going to be taking cold medicine so I can show up to work sick and get other people sick and not be at my best. But once again, this is deep societal programming that is pushed upon you. And like I said, these energy drinks is another thing. Oh, feeling low energy? Go buy something that has several hundred grams of sugar crammed into it and get that into your body so you can have this little artificial boost and think that you're actually being productive. I'm actively opting out of this entire hustle culture and everything that I've been conditioned to believe about hard work and success. I'm really starting to just see through it for what it is. And it is a fabricated idea that has been designed in the last 70 years that is now being pushed upon yourself and myself, thinking that that is how we achieve the dream. And I just want to be clear that this is not about just sitting on your couch and expecting all of your dreams and desires to be delivered to your mailbox, because that's not what I'm saying as well. I think there is this middle ground between being lazy and not knowing when to stop working, or not knowing when to call it a day, or when to say that's enough for right now. I think there's like this middle ground where you can take like inspired action and really make the right next move for you. And it's not about just being on the hamster wheel, doing more and more and more for longer, but it's about accessing this deep intelligence that exists within you and relying on that instead, because that is a much more reliable source of information than a made-up voice in your head telling you how lazy you are and how guilty you should feel and all these other things. For me personally, honoring my energy means that from the time I wake up in the morning, I immediately take stock of how I am feeling physically. Do I feel well rested and ready to have an amazing day? Do I feel like I haven't slept a wink and maybe I need to go easy on myself today? These are questions and little diagnostic practices that I never used to perform on myself. And since choosing rest and just realizing that over the last couple weeks have not been, I've been in a slump, I've been at the bottom of the waveform, and not trying to get too cute down here and trying to make things happen and force things. So today is the first day in a couple weeks I actually feel semi back to myself. And I felt like, you know what? This is something that I'm dealing with right now, and this is something that someone else might find valuable. But I am not forcing content any longer or forcing creativity like it's this flip of a switch that happens. Creativity ebbs and flows just like energy and productivity and everything else. And oddly enough, it was when I chose rest and I did the thing that I don't usually do, and I leaned into the fact that I was feeling not myself. That is what helped me reconnect with my creativity and giving me that spark again to want to hit record on these videos. So I just think that this is an act of self-respect rather than laziness. And I know that society's going to have you believe something else about that, but we're just not built to always be on. So if you're watching this video right now and you feel stuck in hustle culture, or you're feeling guilty about actually taking a rest for a change, I just want you to know that this idea of hustling and grinding your way to the top and through life really is an idea that was fabricated within the last 70 years. And that human beings biologically are not designed to work harder and harder and harder and longer and longer and longer and continue going more and more extra miles. Because I did that for a while and I found myself a broken individual. And I think that's why I found myself burnt out and why other people burn out, because they have just bought too far into this idea of hustling and grinding nonstop. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. So I really want you to start entertaining this idea about honoring your energy and shutting that voice up that's talking nonstop, but really dropping into your body and listening to what it's saying and not feeling guilty about doing that and not feeling like you're falling behind when you take a breather, because all you're doing is you're just recharging so that you can run back out into the field and make a difference on your team or whatever it is. So anyway, this is just something that I've been working on over the last couple of weeks. It's why I've been quiet over the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I just hope that this can help other people, because like I said, this idea is just so deeply ingrained in culture and in people that I'm beginning to see it for what it is. And I actually was one of the people that was broken because of it. So with that said, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. I've really enjoyed your comments and going back and forth in the comments with all of you as this community starts to grow. And yeah, just thank you so much. Until next time, I'm John, and I will catch you in the next one. Be well.